Hello, this is SJ Talks in Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please and thank you. If you're looking at me on your phone, it's the button that's right there. It's right there, should be right there. Go ahead and hit that. Thank you, please and thank you. I'm back. You didn't get a chance to look at my one video where I'm gonna link it up to this one where I was thinking about quitting YouTube. I'm not quitting. I'm just kind of pulling back because I've just been going through some things. Just going through a lot of things, and I go into all the detail in that video. So if you haven't got a chance to go over there, check it out. I'm gonna put the link in the description box. And anyway, please and thank you. But I'm gonna try to get on here as much as I can. Like I said, I'm not quitting. I'm just pulling back, so try to get myself together mentally and stuff like that. So, which brings me to my topic. How to keep yourself spiritually strong when life happens. When life happens, how to be spiritually strong, how to maintain or keep spiritual strength and mental strength, spiritual and mental strength when life happens. That's what I want to talk about. I was meditating on that earlier. When life happens, I was looking at Strong Mommy Chrissy. I was looking at her, and she said, "When life be lifing." She came on. She just did the video a few days ago. She said, "When life be lifing." I said, "I know that's right. She said, "Life be lifing." I said, "Ain't that the truth? Life just be lifing." And so, if you are living, if you're an adult or you're over the age of 20, I'm going to say over the age of 20, because young adults in life happens too for young people too. Teenagers and children struggle too. Life happens for them too. Because whatever impacts the parents is going to impact the children. And teenagers go through a lot. But I'm mainly talking about adults. I'm talking about adults. When life be lifing, when you're an adult, life be lifing. So I'm going to go from 20 on up. If you're over the age of 20 on up, you know what I'm talking about. When life be lifing. When life happens, how do we continue to maintain our spiritual and mental strength when life happens? All kind of stuff just be happening. I know throughout my lifespan, I have endured many trials throughout my life. Many trials throughout my life. Some that I've talked about on here, some I haven't. But we all go through different trials in life. It's life. It's life. We're not going to get through this life unscathed. We're not. That's you're wishful thinking, or you're living in a fantasy if you're thinking you're going to get through this life unscathed. Nobody's going to get through this life unscathed. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what color you are or what nationality. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female or other. I don't care who you are. If you are a human being walking this planet, you are not going to get through this life unscathed. You're not. You gonna go through something. It's gonna be something that you gonna go through. Um, you're gonna. Okay, it's life. You know. Um, we're gonna go through things, and some of the things that we go through. Now, when people don't have, it's very, very important that we have a close relationship with God. Because what happens is when you have a close relationship with God, when you go through these different trials in life, when you go through these different situations and trials and tests in life, you know you have someone that you can call, and you know you have a higher power that you can call on. And you can call on God and Jesus to help you in those times where you're really going through. You may be going through mentally. You may be all kind of stuff. I this video will probably be over an hour long if I named off all the stuff that we all can go through in life. I guess I can name a few off the top of my head, to name a few. If you're going through a heartbreak, maybe you're going through a heartbreak, maybe you was married, or you was in a long-term relationship or something like that, or it might be the father or the mother of your child that unfortunately things didn't work out and you guys have to break up, or you going through a divorce. I've never been married, but I heard divorce is pretty devastating. um you might be going through a divorce, or you might have um, been the victim of a crime. I've gotten my house robbed, and but you might have gotten your house robbed, or you might have gotten carjacked, or you might have had something really traumatic happen to you in your life. And it doesn't matter, male, female, race. This is across the board with everybody. You might have had something really traumatic happen to you in your lifetime. And sometimes when you go through something traumatic, it takes you years to recover from it. If you recover from it at all. It's just depends on what kind of trauma it is. Some things that we go through in life, we never get over it. We have to learn to um, we have to learn to go on in spite of. You know what I mean? It may be loss of a loved one. A lot of people, I know when COVID happened, a lot of people lost loved ones. There was a lot of people some people, I read about this lady that lived in Detroit. A lot of people, it was a lot of loss in Detroit. A lot of people lost loved ones in Detroit. All over. It was this one lady that lost her husband and her son. She lost her husband and her son. How do you process that? When I hear about stuff like that, I think, how do you process that? You know what I mean? And then you hear stories on the news where um, people are losing several family members. They're losing several family members all at once. And all I can think about is, how do they process that? Like, how do you process that? You know what I'm saying? And it might be something like that. You might be a parent that have lost a child, and it's only thing that's more. I think the only thing that's more devastating, or just, I would say, just as devastating as losing a child, is losing a parent. I think they're up there together. Losing a parent and losing a child is up there together. Yeah, um, a lot of people have lost children. I know my neighbor, she just lost her son, and he had a fatal car accident. He was in a fatal car accident. And I went over there to take a card over to her, and she told me that she lost another son. She had 3 sons, and she lost another son. I'm not done. She lost her husband. I've been knowing them for a long time. I've been over in my house 21 years, and I've been knowing them ever since I've been in my house. and she lost her husband. I think she lost her husband, her stepson, and her son all within 6 months, a 6 months time span. So I was just talking to her, and she's saying I'm doing the best I can. So when I think I'm going through something, I know somebody else is going through worse than what I'm going through. You know what I mean? And so you got people that have lost several family members in a short span of time, or they might have lost several family members at the same time due to gun violence or anything like that. So those things are devastating. Those things are devastating. Or um you're dealing with a major illness. Like some people are dealing with illnesses, major illnesses and things like that. Major life changes. Drastic life changes, and things like that. Um, when you have children, if you're particularly if you have adult children, if your adult child is going through something, as a parent, you're going to be impacted by that. You know what I mean? So it, this this life, this be life. Life happens to all of us, and we all go through trials, tribulations. You might have suffered a big financial loss. Maybe you lost your job. You got some people that had lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their jobs during, I think, the pandemic. Right now we are in a recession. So food prices are sky high. Gas prices are going up. As I'm saying that, I'm looking at a sign right now that says $3.99, $3.93. Lord have mercy. It's almost back up to $4 a gallon. Gas prices are going up. Food prices are sky high. Uh, Wages are not going up. Housing costs are through the roof. A lot of people, you might have lost your home. A lot of people have lost their homes. A lot of people have lost their homes. So I've been meditating over that over the last few days, and just trying to focus on, my blessings and stuff like that. When you're going through hard times, it's important to focus on what you do have and focus on your blessings. And somebody always got it worse than what you have. Somebody's going through something worse than what you're going through. So it's all kind of that's the name of few. That's the name of few. But there's so many more. That's the name of few. It's a lot of people that are struggling right now. A lot of people are struggling financially. A lot of people are struggling emotionally, spiritually, on all levels. Satan has been turning up the heat. A lot of people are stressed out. They're under pressure. He really been turning up the heat. And not just on me. It's so easy for us to personalize it, because all we can focus on is our personal because we're going through whatever it is that we're going through. We're going through it. We're going through it. And so we're focused on ourselves. But then when you think about everything a lot of other people are enduring, situations that may be worse than yours. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. How do we maintain? When I say we, I'm talking about me too. How do we, when life be lifing and life happens, because it happens to all of us, how do we endure? How do we do it? How do we keep going without having a mental breakdown? And because, a lot of us still have responsibilities. We still have responsibilities, to maintain, or we have other people to take care of and all that kind of stuff. So we can't just fall out and just give up, So how do we keep that spiritual strength? And I pray and read my Bible, meditate on spiritual things. Because over the past 3 months, but the last 3 months has been really, as I said in that last video, my anxiety has been on 10. And I've had some things that, like I said, I'm not going to go into it on here, but it's some things that happen that really, and then once we get up to a particular age, over the age of 50, lots of things change in our body. Our bodies don't process stress the same way as it did when we were younger. Stress is more harder on our heart and lungs and things like that when we are older. Even at a cellular level, stress affects us differently over the age of 50. It just does. And so we really, us people over the age of 50, really have to know how to manage our stress. And so that's why it's really important to have that close relationship with God. I know when I'm going through trials and life is lifing and life is happening, I know that I have a Father that I can call on. That I have a Father that I can call on, and I can pray. And I always say, God, I said, Jehovah God, I need you to help me. I need you to help me because I can't do this on my own. My faith gets tested, and I'm a worry wart. I'm a worry wart. When something happens, I'm a worry wart. And so sometimes I don't know, let me know in the comment section if you guys do this. Sometimes I pray about stuff. You know how they say give it to God? And I think someone in my comment section on that other video said that the Bible says put all our burdens on to God. Give it all to him. But how many of us give it to God and we take it back? I do that because I'm a worry wart. I try to give it to God, but then next thing you know, I'm stressing and worrying about it over again. So we try to give it to God, but how many of us take it back? We keep taking it back. Can't keep taking it back. We can't keep taking it back. We got to give it to him, and when we give it to him, we got to give it to him with confidence, knowing that he's, because a lot of things in life is not in our control. It's a lot of things that happen in life that's not in our control. So we got to turn it over to God. And I feel sorry for people that don't believe in God, because that's a whole nother video. Like, how do you endure if you don't believe in a higher power? How do you, I don't know. That's another video. But when we give it to him, we got to leave it to him. When I say we, I'm talking about me too, because I'm a worry wart. I call myself trying to give it to him, then I take it back. I got to give it to him and let it go. And then when I worry, I think of the worst case scenarios. When I worry, that make it so bad, I have the tendency to overthink. And when people that overthink have more anxiety. That's when my anxiety spikes up to 10, because I have the tendency to overthink. And when I worry, like when I worry about my sons, I think of the worst case scenarios. Like, June, why did you do that? I think of let me know if you're a parent in the comment section, particularly to adult children. And when you worry about your kids, do you think about the worst case scenarios? I think of the worst case scenarios. And I got 2 black males, so I think of the worst case scenarios, and it spikes my anxiety up to 10. My anxiety gets spiked up to 10. And so situations like that, we got to call on God, and if we going to pray for something. They say if you going to pray, it ain't no sense in worrying. If you going to worry, it ain't no sense in praying. You know what I mean? So it don't make no sense to pray if you're going to worry. So we got to give it to God. We got to give it to God and leave it there. That's why he tells us in the Bible to give all our burdens to him. Lay it on the throne. Lay it on the throne. Because when you do that, that's going to bring your anxiety down. It's going to bring your anxiety down. Your stress levels down. and stuff like that. In situations where you're dealing with grief, and there's all kinds of grief, a loss of a loved one, um, like I said, divorce is pretty devastating for a lot of people, breakup, or I know when my youngest son's dad, he's never been in his life ever. When basically he abandoned me and his son, didn't want anything to do with me or his son. I remember that was pretty devastating for me. It was pretty devastating for me. Abandonment is a hard pill to swallow. Now, I didn't expect the man to marry me or anything. I just wanted him to be. I just wanted him to help with raising our son, because I didn't make him by myself. I needed his support. I needed his support, and not just financial support, but that support that the other parent is supposed to give to the child. I needed that. You know what I mean? My son needed that. He needed that. And so just having to endure single parenthood, and raise my son without his father was very difficult. And it was pretty devastating for me, especially initially the first few years. It was very, 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 very devastating for me, to get through that. Abandonment is not easy. When you're dealing with a situation to where you've been abandoned, whether it be the father of your children or the mother of it. Sometimes women walk out on kids too. It happens to men. Sometimes women walk out on their children, and there's single fathers out here, and let the fathers raise the kids. Yeah, it's a lot of single fathers don't get a lot of recognition, because there's so many more single mothers than there are single fathers. But single fathers are out there. They're out there. And there are situations to where the mama just bye. That's abandonment. And it might have been a marriage. I've heard of men being married and having kids, and a woman just walks out and say, I can't do this no more. She just decides that she can't do this no more, and she want to live her life and leave the kids to the man, and the man has to raise the kids. He's a single dad. That's devastating. That's devastating. So it doesn't matter whether it's male or female. Sometimes men get abandoned. Now, it's rare that women do walk out on their children, but it happens. It does happen. And that's abandonment. And it's devastating. It's devastating when it happens. It's devastating when that person is supposed to help you raise the child, and they just act like you and the child don't exist. And the only time I see this man is in court. Well, not anymore, but back then, the only time I ever seen him was in court. That's it. That was pretty devastating for me. In some ways, I'm still hurt by that, because I don't hurt for me. I hurt for my son, because this is at a time when my son really needs his father. He really needs him now. So I don't hurt for me. I hurt for my son, because it's not about me, but I hurt for my son, because my son needs his father. Even though he's an adult, it doesn't matter. We never stop needing our parents. I still need my mom. And I'll be 56. By the way, me and Michael Jackson share the same birthday. And I don't know if I ever told you guys that. Fun fact about me. My birthday's August the 29th. Michael Jackson, me and Michael shared the same. Well, I was actually born on his birthday because he's older than me. He was older than me. And I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. Back in the 80s when he came out with Thriller, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. You couldn't tell me nothing. I had posters and pictures all over my bedroom wall. I love me some Michael Jackson. And when I found out we shared the same birthday, oh Lord. When I found that out, I was like, see, I knew it. It's our destiny to be together. We're destined. We have the same birthday. I just knew that Michael was going to be my husband. And we were going to be together because we were just alike because we had the same birthday. I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, guys. I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. And so, yes, me and Michael's fun fact about me and Michael Jackson actually share the same birthday, August the 29th. I was born on his birthday, actually. So, anyway. But, now I got off track with what I was saying. Oh, I still need my mother. I'll be 56 on the 29th. I still need my mother. So we never stop needing our parents. We never stop needing our parents. We always need our parents. Doesn't matter how old we are. You know. So it's just, you know, so we just got to just call on God. Whatever it is that we're dealing with, we have to call on God. And when I pray, I always say, God, I need you to help me. I can't endure this by myself. I can't go through the situation by myself. I need you to help me. I have to pray for mental strength, for spiritual strength. Help me with my anxiety and things like that. And now I have another video that I'm going to do about letting God help us with depression and anxiety. I'm going to do that video too. But yeah, we got to let God help us. And once we give it to him, put it on the throne, that will lessen our burdens. And I find myself feeling a little better about the situation when I give it to God. Because, no matter what you're going through, life goes on. Unless you die, you waking up every day, life is going to continue to go on. You got to keep going to work. I mean, in my case, I'm not working, but I'm doing other things. Life goes on no matter what you're going through. Life still has to go on, and you still have to go on with your life. So you're going to need your mental strength. You're going to need your spiritual strength to get through day to day, so you can manage from day to day, mentally manage from day to day. And so, I'm going to make some of these points in my depression video. Find out what interests you, music, stuff like that. Anything that you can do to relax your mind. Relax your mind and kind of maybe take your mind off of things a little bit. Gravitating towards your loved ones. People that love and care about you. Gravitating towards them, and maybe you might have a beloved pet or something like that. Pray, read your Bible, stuff like that. Prayer, meditation, all those things. I like to light my candles at night. They're very therapeutic. I light my candles. That's very therapeutic for me. It's just something about the candle, looking at the candles going, and just kind of relaxes my mind a little bit. And so sometimes it's little things like that, that'll kind of help relax your mind, and just, nothing wrong with herbal remedies either. And when I say herbal remedies, you guys know what I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with it. There's still a lot of controversy around herbal remedies. I used to be leery of, because I come from that generation where herbal remedies were bad, but they're not. It has a lot of therapeutic properties. It can relax you. It can relax you. It can relax your mind. It can. So things like that. If you need medication, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I, therapy, nothing wrong with that either. You know, nothing wrong with that either. So all those things will help you. All those things can help you if you need it. There's nothing wrong with seeking therapy when you need it. I'm going to be talking about that in my next couple of videos. Nothing wrong with that if you need it. Because I did some therapy, and I'm going to do some again when I find a black therapist. Because most people you can't talk to. I'm going to be honest. Most people you just can't talk to. Because people always want to put their little 2 cents in. When you're talking, if you're talking to someone, or a listening ear sometimes is a running mouth. If you talk to somebody about something, and it doesn't matter who it is, you don't know who they're going to go and tell. And you might be telling them something that's supposed to be confidential between you and them. Next thing you know, other people is in your business and know, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes a listening ear is a running mouth. So unless you have a very, very, very close friend that you can talk to, and y'all can talk to each other and be a sense of support. Now, some people have that, but most people you can't. I find in my lifetime that most people I can't talk to, because everybody want to put their little 2 cents in, or they may form an opinion about what you're telling them, pass judgment on you. They can pass judgment on you or judge you, or like I say, tell somebody and that gossiping about your business to this other person, or they're judging you. Whatever it is that you're telling them, they're judging you. Instead of being there to support you, they're judging you. Or they're making statements that it's not going to help you. You know, it's not going to help you. They're putting their little 2 cents in. And so that's where people aren't therapists. They're not therapists. They're not a licensed professional. So sometimes it's good to talk to a licensed professional, you know, especially if you've had some trauma. Or if you are a member of a church and you have a really great minister, go to your minister. Now, you can't talk to all ministers, but you got some good ones out there that you can confide in. You know what I mean? Or, you know, another spiritual sister or brother in your church or whatever it is that you go to, someone that's very close to you that will keep your stuff confidential and is not going to gossip about. Because some folks in church you got to be leery about too. You know, because folks in church be gossiping sometimes worse than the people in the world. So it just depends. I say therapists because they have to keep things confidential, because they can actually lose their license if they tell your business. So they have to keep whatever you tell them has to stay confidential, and you know, you have a listening ear, and you get to express your feelings and things like that, which is not easy to do with a lot of people. And then you also have people that have their own problems. Life is life, and for everybody, and everybody got their own problems and own issues that they're dealing with. So sometimes they're really not receptive to whatever it is that you're dealing with. It's not that they don't care, it's that they're dealing with their own personal storms that they're trying to go through. You know what I mean? And it's hard for them to kind of sympathize with you in that moment. Although it's not that they don't care. They do care. Because if they care about you, they do care. But they're dealing with their own issues and they're dealing with their own problems. So their realm of caring for you is only going to go so far. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Y'all feel me. You know what I mean? So ain't nothing wrong with speaking to a licensed professional. Nothing wrong with it. And you know you can talk to God. He's 24/7. All those things are helpful. I say all the above are helpful. You know, all of the above. You know, anything that's going to help you to endure whatever it is that you're going through. Anything that's going to help you to endure. YouTube was doing it for me. That was one of the things. But like I said, over the past week, since I did that video, so I needed that break. You know, and so that's what I'm saying. So, and it's important for me as a content creator to not put any extra pressure on myself to constantly be putting out content every day when I'm not feeling it mentally or emotionally. You know what I mean? That's not even healthy for me. That's not healthy for any content creator. You kind of just going through the motions just because you feel like you need to put content out there. Now, some people depend on YouTube as their bread and butter. So, you know, they kind of have to put content out there, you know, but YouTube ain't paying not one bill in my house. They ain't my bread and butter. So I don't have that kind of pressure on me to have to put content out day in and day out. I can take breaks, you know what I'm saying? So, and even if I do make it, it ain't gonna be no main source of income. It's just gonna be a little extra something on the side, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's what I was meditating on that. Sorry that this video's long, but I was meditating on that. I said that'd be a good video for me to get out today, and it's actually something that, because I not only everything I told you in that other video, I was also having, you know how people have writers, like writers have writer's block? Well, I was having speech block too. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words. I just can't, I can't, because like I said, I do all my videos off the top of my head. Nothing's written down. I don't have a script or anything like that. So sometimes I'm just at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. So times like that, you ain't gonna see me on YouTube. I have speaker's block. So hit me up in that comment section if what do you do to endure despite life happening? Because life happens to all of us. What do you do as your ways of coping and getting through things? Do you rely on God? Do you pray? What are some of the other things that you do to kind of help yourself get through things? Some people have a great support system. It just depends. You have a good support system? So hit me up in that comment section. Let me know, when you're going through trials and tribulations and life happens, how do you get through? How do you endure it? You know, could it be something major? Loss of a loved one. How did you get through it? How did you endure it? So hit me up in that comment section, you know, share your thoughts. Let me know. Everybody across the board that's looking at this video, hit me up. Let me know how do you get through things? How do you when life be lifing? I like when Strong Mommy Christy said that. She said, when life be lifing, how do you get through when life be lifing? When life happens and life be lifing, how do you get through it? How do you endure it? So hit me up without jumping off a building. So hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm going to go ahead and get in the store. And until the next video, you guys be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video.